In the last episodes of Sailing so far, we wrapped up our Norway adventure, sailing in company with my brother Liam and his Fantasi 37, Aiaia. After landfall back in the UK, we transited the Caledonian Canal and returned both boats to their winter berths in the northwest of Scotland. But this story doesn't end here. This week, I hand over the camera and microphone to Liam as he sets off on his greatest solo sailing adventure to date, a winter crossing of the Bay of Biscay.
Good morning, folks. So, a bit different today. This is, I guess you could call it a special of sorts on Sailing Yacht Safar, because Sailing Yacht Safar today is actually going to be Sailing Yacht Aiaia. I have one last cruise in the year before having to go back to working, etc. And the last cruise, so right now it is the November the 5th, and we finished our Norway trip on September the 25th. So we've had a month just sort of relaxing, and I've got work again now. But that work is going to take me away from what has been my home base here in Scotland, Craobh. But yeah, it's life is about change. So right now, the change is going to be sailing from where we are here in Craobh on the west coast of Scotland, down through the Irish Sea, across the English Channel, and then to northern Spain, Vigo, which is just on the border with Portugal. And it is late season, so this is not going to be anticipated to be a particularly nice trip. The weather forecast at this current time is basically given southerlies for approximately 2 weeks, so that's not great. But my intention is I just want to start heading that way, even if it means beating a little bit. With Aiaia provisioned and stowed for sea, the lines were cast off. I departed Craobh Marina, leaving Morgan and Safar astern, and began my journey south. Every extended solo sail carries a quiet edge of anxiety, but once the sails are raised, that feeling soon washes away and you settle into a sea routine. Okay, so the one of the first things that we're going past on the way south is the Gulf of Craobh, and you might not have heard of it, but it's up in Scotland in the Sound of Jura, and it separates the island of Jura and the island of Craobh, and it has one of the largest whirlpools in the world, and I've been through there on a sailboat, and probably done the fastest speeds I've ever done on a 37-foot boat, about 18 knots. So it can, when it rushes through, it really does. It's a pretty nasty bit of water when it wants to be, but as long as you hit it at exactly the right time, there's nothing to be too worried about. But yeah, we're off now. 50 knots of wind. Looks like it's just starting to fill in a little bit more, so we're cracking along nicely. 7 knots. As the day progressed, the wind dropped and the currents turned against me, so I decided to head for Gear Island and dropped anchor in Twin Bay. Good morning, everybody. So it is November the 6th, or day 2 of the trip. I didn't do much filming last night. It was the trip coming down from Craobh. It was pretty less than average. It was raining, horrible, not so great. And right now we're at the top of an island called Gear in the Sound of Jura, just here. And the plan for today is to sail south into Rathlin Island, because I've got about 6 hours worth of favourable tide now, which should get us down, and the wind is coming from the south east, about 15 knots. So well, it says it's supposed to be doing that. I can't hear it, it sounds like there's nothing out there right now. But anyway, you know, we'll go with what's being predicted, and hopefully it'll all work out. So I'm going to go and put my stuff on and go and raise the anchor and get going. So this is the morning of day 2. We left gear this morning early. It's a bit gnarly out here right now, considering it's not really meant to be. The forecast had it given for sort of, at most, sort of 15 knots. But right now we've got a force 5 from the southeast. And the apparent wind over the deck right now is 22 knots. But we're making good speed, 7.2 knots through the water, and about the same sort of speed over the ground, which is wonderful. The plan is to head to Rathlin Island and sort of wait for the tide to change again before we go into the North Channel. Yeah, it's a bit grey, it's a bit miserable, but it's not raining constantly, which is nice, and it's remarkably warm for November. When I actually got up this morning, it was 14 degrees, so yeah, not too bad all in all. So I just thought I'd show you where we're going to today. Today we are going to Rathlin Island, which is here, which is just at the top of Northern Ireland, and it is just the beginning to the North Channel. You got the Mull of Kintyre here, famous for the song, and the plan is to go into either Church Bay, which is here, or maybe just anchor outside there in Mill Bay, depending on how things look, because the tide is about to turn very soon, so I need to make it as quickly as I can to the bottom to get around the inside before the tide turns and then goes foul. But yeah, you can just see it now starting to appear out the window. It has been guarded in mist, so I only just recently made an appearance. There we have it. Known, well, just off the northeastern side of the island, there is a race called McDonald's Race. We are going to go past it, but I'm hoping we're going to go over it just at slack water, so it should be fine. Fingers crossed.
Church Bay became my second stop while I waited for 6 hours and a favourable tide to enter the North Channel. It was a good opportunity to catch some rest and soak up some November sunshine.
So it is 4:30 on day 2, and the plan is to leave Rathlin Island, which is in Northern Ireland, just here, and to sail a 30 nautical mile passage into Larne on Northern Ireland. The tide turns in around about an hour, and it's quite nice. It's a little bit of blue skies, sun's just setting, and it's good. It's been constantly raining for days, so having a little bit of nicer weather, it really does make a big difference. And yeah, it's nice being here in Church Bay and just taking it all in. It's the first time I've ever actually been to Rathlin Island. I've always basically just gone straight past, But yeah, if it wasn't trying to catch the tide, then I would like to step ashore and take a look around, but I guess it just means I have to come back and do it again at some other point. It's the end of day 2, and we are 6 nautical miles away from getting into Larne. So the passage down from Rathlin Island's been pretty easy. It's been nice. The moon's been out. It's a full moon, so it's really quite nice. It's illuminated the ocean really pleasantly. So it's been a very pleasant night. It's not been waves leaping over the deck and rain as it was last night. So the plan is we've been tacking backwards and forwards against the southerly wind flow, just trying to make the best progress we can, and at times we've been doing 10 knot speed over the ground. Right now we're doing 7.6, and we've still got 6 nautical miles to go. We should arrive at 10 o'clock this evening, so says Navionics. And then the plan is just to I see there's an anchorage next to the jetty, so we're just going to come in and then drop anchor. It's probably the easiest thing, as it's going to be entering a channel in the dark. I have entered it once before, but it was about 11 years ago, so yeah, due to that, so we'll just take it nice and easy and see how we go.
After a few hours worth of sleep, I caught the southbound tide towards Ballyholme Bay.
Good morning. So it is Saturday morning, and it is early 5:41. I didn't do much filming yesterday when we were coming into Ballyholme Bay, which is just next to Bangor Harbour. The weather was just absolutely atrocious. It was just rain squall after rain squall, not particularly nice. Everything was very wet, and the wind was from the south, so it was quite a struggle to actually get here yesterday, because the tide had turned and was going against us. The wind was against us. But anyway, we clawed our way south, and we're here now. This morning, the tide's about to turn. I start heading down the Irish Sea, which is good. And the plan is to go for Ardglass, which is 32 nautical miles away. So it's a bit of a push. And right now the wind is westerly, so it should be helping us, or blowing off the Irish coast, which means it should make it actually sailable today, which is quite good. And then the wind is destined again to turn apparently more towards the south, just probably when we get to the point where we're going to need it to be from that direction. But anyway, it's all good. Yeah, go and start the engine. Let's get going. It's weird sailing without Safar on the horizon, and being like properly solo single-handed sailing, because beforehand, you know, you get used to it when we were sailing in Norway, you're always sort of more or less within sight of each other. But now this particular trip, it does feel quite different not having Safar close, but it's all good. No particular dramas. I've tried to take some footage as I've gone, and yeah, today the plan is to go to Ardglass, and we're making good progress at the moment. Sort of 7 knots speed over the ground. So at the moment it's having us in sort of around about 11 o'clock, which is quite good, because this evening from sort of 8 o'clock onwards it's supposed to start getting strong southerly, which is less than ideal. But right now it's westerly, but it's starting to cut more southwesterly all the time. But anyway, it means we're hard on the wind, but we're going in the right direction, which is good.
The Fantasi 37 might not be as manoeuvrable as a modern fin keeler. However, out in the open water, her deep full keel and sea canley lines make offshore passages very comfortable. She steers straight and true. All I have to do is point her in the right direction and try not to fall off.
Good morning, YouTube. It is November the 12th, and we're in Ardglass. It's been good being here. The last couple of days have been particularly nasty. Yesterday was pretty strong southerlies, and it was making it pretty uncomfortable in this harbour. It's Wednesday today, and on Friday there's potentially easterly winds of up to about 54 knots gusts, which is pretty intense. And Ardglass is here, and easterly winds blowing into the harbour means it's going to be very uncomfortable in here. But looking at the week ahead, because I've been keeping a close eye on the weather, it's looking like the winds are going to turn more from the north, which is good, because it means that we have a fair chance of actually being able to make a good bit of progress south. So the plan today is to leave here and to go to Greystones Marina, which is a passage of 68 nautical miles south, and just try and make as much south, because there's effectively today there's going to be no wind until around about the afternoon, and then it's going to start lightly picking up. So it should be quite good just to get us there, and we'll have made a bit more southing, and then we'll tuck in there out the wind for Friday, because yeah, you don't want to be out anywhere near 54 knots of wind. That's way too much. And it looks like Greystones is going to be quite well protected from that nastiness. Yeah, that's the plan. I haven't had any coffee yet, because it is super early in the morning. Well, 6:44. Well, that's not too bad, but that's an early start. Right, let's go and get it done. So the passage down to Greystones is going well. It's incredible how well the weather routing is working. Having spent, you know, pretty much sort of the last couple of weeks keeping a real close eye to the weather, because sailing in November in the Irish Sea isn't a joke. Today the models stated that it was going to go from being a southerly or southwesterly, and it was going to bend round to being a northeasterly.
All stations, this is the Dublin and Minehead Coast Guard radios with a sea area forecast listening to Dublin and Minehead, channel 03.
Yeah.
All stations, this is Carlingford and Rosslare Coast Guard radios with a sea area forecast listening to Carlingford, channel 04, Rosslare, channel 05.
Alright.
All stations, this is Wicklow Head Coast Guard radio for the sea area.
Okay, we'll try that again, because I think the radio has stopped now. Yeah, so the passage down to Greystones is going well. Greystones is just south of Dublin, and the reason I thought I'd mention this little bit is because I just want to talk about the weather routing. I've been keeping a close eye on the weather the last couple of weeks, and it's incredible actually just how well the varying models are showing what's actually happening. The wind was from the sort of the southwest this morning, and we've been trying to, you know, basically it was quite close on the wind, and then it said it was going to drop out at sort of 11 o'clock, and it dropped out exactly at 11. And now, as you can see, it's sort of the wind direction is from the northeast, and it's bang on the money, sort of true wind speed, exactly what's being predicted, and it's perfect. We've currently got 23 nautical miles to run, and everything's going well today. The Irish Sea is nice and calm. We're sort of making 6 knots at the moment. Unfortunately, it is a bit sort of rainy and a bit sort of miserable, but we're making good progress, which is wonderful. And the boat's cracking along nicely. We've got a full main, full Genoa, and a nice flat Irish Sea.
And now the shipping forecast issued by the Met Office. Small craft warning. Northeasterly winds will reach force 6 or higher on all Irish coasts today and tonight. Gale warning. Northeasterly winds will reach gale force 8 today on Irish coastal waters from Belfast Lough to Roaches Point to Rosslyn Point.
So, good morning everyone. This is the big day. It is the 15th of November 2025, and yeah, today's the day we're going to go for it, as in the crossing from Greystones Island to Vigo, Spain, which is a passage of 699 miles, so almost 700 miles. Estimated passage time is around about 4.5 days. It's not so nice out there right now. It's grey, it's a bit crappy. We got winds from the east, as you can see here. True wind speed currently of 11, that's in the port, but I imagine the minute that we poke our nose out through the harbour entrance, it's going to be pretty lumpy. Yesterday, or last night, Storm Claudia was going through, so yeah, I imagine the Irish Sea is going to be a little bit lumpy until it's had a chance to calm down a little bit. But what we do have right now is that weather window which can make all the difference. So yeah, as much as I'd rather not leave right now, I think it's the best thing to do given the fact that the weather window is looking quite good, because at the other end, when we get into the Bay of Biscay, when we get to around about here, it looks like the wind currently, due to the predictions that we've got at the moment, it looks like it starts to freshen again and will pipe up to possibly gusts of around about sort of 30 knots, which is a little bit on the much side. So if I wait longer so the sea state is better here, it could end up being rollier and worse at the other end. So yeah, I think the best thing is just try and get going, and then the minute we bear away and start heading south, it should, hopefully with a bit of wind in the sails, it should steady the boat out, and then we're away then. And it looks like the weather pretty much starts improving the moment that we actually get going, really.
Leaving Greystones had me feeling slightly apprehensive. The plan was to let go lines and leave as soon as the wind had dropped to an acceptable 20-ish knots. I knew the conditions were still stirred up and that getting out past the breakwater was going to be the worst bit. I was confident that once some sail was up and Aiaia back out again into deeper water, she would steady herself and lean into the trip.
So that's it, we're finally away from Ireland. We've just passed south now of the India Bank, and we've got Ardglass headland now, just off our starboard side. Don't know if you can, yeah, you can just see it there. And it's brightening up ahead, which is nice. We've had a little bit of ship traffic over there. Yeah, it's all good. We're making a decent speed, 6.8 knots with 50 knots of wind, and probably in the next sort of half an hour I'll bear a few more degrees southwards, and then that should put us more onto a reach, so that's good. A bit conservative right now with the sail plan. We've got 2 reefs in the main, full Genoa, but I just thought it would be better just to play it safe just whilst we actually get away and get a feeling for it. I wasn't too sure how rough it was going to be out here, but it's not actually that bad now we're away from the coast.
As the evening drew in, the wind became light, but Aiaia continued to push on under full sail.
Good morning, everybody. So it's day 2, and all is going well so far. Weather's been behaving. We're currently sort of halfway through the Bristol Channel, and yeah, I've got night 1 out the way. Night 1's always the first always the strangest because it's just getting used to the whole routine again. But yeah, it was all right. The weather's been pretty consistent, sort of northeast or east winds, sort of around both at 4 or 5. And we're nearly coming up to a full day's run at the moment. And right now it looks like we've had a pretty good run through the water. There is a difference between the water log and what is the GPS has calculated that we've actually travelled, because obviously we've had tide against us, and so the water log's always going to be a little bit different. Yeah, in another half an hour I'll have the full figure of what we've actually done, but it's looking pretty good. Between 136 and 148 nautical miles in a day. So I'm very happy with that. That's not bad really. Yeah, the sailing out there right now is pretty easy. Got the monitor, self-steering, doing the job, and I've just recovered the tow generator. Yeah, we've doing the with the wind generator and that going, it's been enough to keep the batteries fully charged. Everything's topped right up at the moment. It's not a particularly good day for solar, but yeah, I haven't needed to run the engine yet, so that's wonderful. So yeah, got the latest weather forecast from Predict Wind. Everything's looking good there, and yeah, I haven't really had to do a great deal regarding the sailing. It's just I shook a reef out last night just to give her a little bit more go. We're currently at 2 reefs now, just due to the wind speed has increased a little bit. It's occasionally it gets up to 20, so we're just trying to keep the pressure off all of the kit by having 2 reefs in the main, full genoa.
Sailing closer towards my desired course required me to use my spinnaker pole on the leeward side. This allows me to sail deeper downwind with my sails wing on wing. The setup looks complex and resembles a modern Imica deck spreader system, but it works remarkably well and allows my genoa to fill and be more efficient. Setting the pole up in a seaway can be challenging at times, but using the old adage, one hand for yourself and one hand for the ship, gets the pole up in about 15 minutes. I hope you've enjoyed watching my Irish Sea adventure. Please tune in next time as we enter the Bay of Biscay. If you've liked this special of Sailing So Far, please consider subscribing, giving us a like, and leave a comment. We do enjoy reading what everyone's had to say.